Formbird fleet runs the show. Keys are tracked, the fuel's in check. Fleet runs smooth, no lost specs.
Welcome to the 28th Formbird Fleet Professionals Community Meetup. Today, we're looking at a unified calendar to rule them all. One calendar that gives everyone an overview of what's happening with their fleet at that point in time. Things from workshop requests, work orders, and rosters, including leave. So it's going to be an action-packed episode. Make sure you stay online. Now, everybody who has any questions should put their hand up, ask. We've got the experts in the field right here, right now. So they're the ones to talk to. And if there's anything you see on the screen, make sure you say, hey, stop. I need a hand. This is your community, and we're here to make sure that you get the most out of it. So we do have some news, which we're going to keep really brief, aren't we, Ian? And Ian is going to do news. Mark somehow got out of that. So over to you, Ian, with some news.
Three things wanted to bring to attention is that we've, from a Formbird providing an integrated pool vehicle booking system with key lockers, we've just received a further order from Cardinia to join Golden Plains, Brimbank, Marie, you're doing it, Greater Shepparton, all going with this integrated pool vehicle booking system. So working with KeyWatcher Australia. One bit of news. Second bit of news, Formbird has been working for the last 2 years with Geosecure for the supply and delivery of solutions centric on the Geotab platform. Geotab made two, I think, really big announcements in September. First one was that Neil Cors, the CEO, started the company 25 years ago to the month of September, two men in a garage. Okay. Today they've got a couple of thousand staff, etc. They're worldwide. And the second thing they announced was they turned over their 5 million connected vehicles that are out there in the fleet. To put it in context, somebody complimented Neil Cors 7 years ago to say, well done, you've got your 1 millionth connected vehicle. And in 7 years, they've gone from 1 million to 5 million. So it just shows you an exponential growth, and we've been proud to support that at about 12 sites here in New South Wales and Queensland. So, yeah, and Victoria. Anyway, that's probably the three bits of news.
Yeah, great. Oh, well, that is good news. And look, as everyone knows, Geotab is our GPS / telematics provider. And they would appear to be on the move, and in the world of winners takes most, then I would say they're a very safe bet. But anyway, that's enough of the sales pitch. No, the technology is robust and it is integrated with Formbird, and we can do all sorts of very smart things. So let's move on. Adam, are you ready? One calendar, to rule them all.
Yeah, absolutely. So this work scheduling via the calendar really came about originally from a discussion with Chris up at Greater Shepparton. So that was the first iteration, being able to schedule stuff in the calendar. And then this latest evolution came about from discussion with yourself, Anthony, from Forbes Shire Council. He came up with the suggestion of pulling it all together, so the rosters, the leave, and the actual workshop activity all into a single calendar to make it nice and easy to assign the work and reassign work and keep track of what's happening in the workshop at any given point in time. So I'll jump in and share my screen here. If I can find the button. All right, can you guys see my screen now?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, so I'm at the homepage at the moment. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by going through recapping the existing leave and roster functionality, and then I'll dive into kind of how that fits into the new work scheduling calendar. So to manage rosters and leave, if we go from the administrator homepage and the system administrator menu here and go into account management, this takes us to our account management page where we've got all our users. But what we want to do is we want to go down to the account reference data section. So I'm just going to hit that button there and it should scroll us down there. Perfect. So we've got some buttons across the top here to do new things or create new things. So two of the ones that we'll talk about today, the new roster button and the new leave type button. And if I scroll down a little bit further, I can see any existing rosters and leave that we have. So you can see down the bottom here, we've got leave types of annual leave, personal leave, and RDO, roster day off. And we've also got some rosters set up here. So I'll go into one of these now to show you what it looks like. So this is a technician standard roster that we've got set up in this environment. And you can see it operates, the usual times are Monday to Friday, 8 till 4 each day. I'll just go back to that previous page and scroll back down to that account reference data section. So to create a new roster, we can go in and simply hit that new roster button. And we can give it a name here. So we'll make this one a 4-day week roster.
Adam, can I just butt in 1 moment?
Absolutely.
Your voice is distant. Don't know whether.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no worries, mate. How's that? Is that any better?
Others to comment?
Oh, I can hear him fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
Good.
Keep
Thank
going.
you.
No worries. All right, so to do this as a 4-day week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it at 6 a.m. and we'll make it finish at 4:30, so a nice long day over 4 days. To save you having to fill the times down or enter the times in each field, simply just hit the copy times down button and that'll copy it through Monday to Friday. Obviously, this is a 4-day one, so I might just get rid of those two last times there. And then we'll leave that as a 60-minute break per day. And I just hit the save button and that's saved that roster there now. So it's saved in the system. So if I scroll down to this roster section and hit this refresh button, there's my 4-day week roster that I've just created there. We can also create new leave types. So these are totally configurable for you guys. So we can go new leave type and give this a name. So what I'll use here is we'll give this the name training. So this could be used to identify things like, going to TAFE or anything like that. And that's saved there. And again, if I go back to that previous page and look at my leave types and refresh that table, you can see that training is now a leave type in the leave types. So the next thing I'm going to do is apply those to a particular account. So we've got this account here, Freya Fixer. So I'm going to click on the name link to go into Freya's account. So you can see that this account already has a Formbird app role of technician, but we need to do a couple of configuration steps to make sure Freya appears in the calendar. The first one is we need to make Freya's account assignable. So this means requests, work orders can be assigned to Freya. And the other thing that we really need to do is set available to work to available. Can someone mute there? He's doing a phone call. Slight interruption. And the other thing that we really need to do, aside from setting assignable to yes and setting the availability to available, we also need to link Freya's account to a workshop. So within Formbird, you can set up multiple workshops. So in this case, we're going to assign Freya to the Formbird workshop by selecting it there. With those few things, I'm going to hit the save tick and apply those changes to Freya's account. The other thing that we're going to do here is actually add a roster and add some leave for Freya as well. So the roster is pretty simple and easy. I can simply click on the roster field here and you can see those few rosters that we created earlier. So I can select the 4-day week for Freya. And then I can also hit the save tick again to apply those changes. And we can add in some leave as well. So if Freya's going off to TAFE, we can add in some leave. Maybe it's tomorrow, for example. I can set the time to 9 a.m. and then do the leave end time, and we'll call that, I don't know, 5 p.m. Oh, sorry. There we go. And we'll select the leave type here. So again, this is where you see your options there. So we've got personal leave, annual leave, roster, day off. And in this case, I'm going to use training. And then I'm going to go create leave. So you can see that immediately has popped up with Freya's leave. And if I hover over it, you can see the start time and the end time and the type of the leave. Okay, so that's really all the configuration steps to make an account appear in the scheduling calendar. So the next step is really the scheduling calendar and to take a look at that. So it's available in a few different places. For workshop supervisors, they can go to their homepage, which is essentially the All Workshop overview here, the All Workshop dash, and scroll down to this navigation section and hit monitoring scheduling, and that will take them through to the scheduling tool. So you can see that there. For administrator accounts, from your homepage, you can go into this works management menu, and you've got work scheduling there in the works management menu. So you can hit that, and that'll also open up this same page here. We've got a few different things on this page. This first section here is the work scheduling bit, which I'll come back to in a second. Further down the page, we've also got expected start in the next 24 hours. So that's really what's happening today, the basic details of what's happening today. And then we've also got any requests or work orders that are open in progress and new. So there's basically anything that's not completed, closed out, set to pick up if it's a request, all those sort of things. You can see kind of what's incomplete or not started in the workshop there as well. So taking us back up to the top here, we'll dive into this, the juicy bit, I guess, the work scheduling calendar. So Paul and Ed have done a lot of development and testing on this. And it's quite a significant bit of functionality, really. There's quite a lot of complex logic going on, and quite a lot of different bits of functionality or ways you can use it. So down the left-hand side of the calendar, you'll see that we've got the workshop, and then under the workshop, you've got your technicians or people that are assignable and related to that workshop underneath. So our Formbird depot here, I can scroll down the calendar like that, and you can see that we've got Taylor Technician, me a Mechanic, etc., etc. And we've got Freya Fixer there now as well, since I did that configuration on Freya's account. Along the top of the calendar, you can see we've got time here. So we've got the day that it is that we're looking at the moment, and it defaults to show from the current time. So this meeting started at 11 a.m. So it's showing us the first block as 11 a.m. I can scroll backwards and forwards in the calendar as well. So I can scroll back earlier to see what's happening earlier in the day, and I can scroll ahead in time as well to see what's happening tomorrow, for example. I can see Freya's training there in the calendar displaying. There's a few other ways to get around in this calendar. We do have the zoom function, so you can change the zoom to change essentially the scale of time that we're looking over. So you can change it to be 30-minute blocks, or you can change it to be day blocks as well. So it's just basically zooming in and out on the time. We can use the start date to jump around in the calendar. So if I want to look at a day tomorrow, for example, I can see Friday. If I want to jump to next week, I can see what's happening next week on a particular day. I can also hit this now button, and that'll take me back to where we are now, which is back to 11 a.m. on Thursday, the 9th of October. You'll see the resource filter and event filter boxes here. So the resource filter box applies to the workshops and the technicians. So if I type in depot, for example, here, that filters it down to just show me Formbird depot. If I want to see Freya, for example, I can type in Freya's name, and that gives me Freya and the Formbird depot that she belongs to. With the event filter, so this is going to filter all of the events that appear in the calendar. So we have a few different types of events going on here. We've got requests, which appear with the orange bar, and they're assigned to workshops. And then we've also got work orders, which appear with the green bar, and they're assigned to mechanics, technicians. And we've got leave as well. So the leave shows up with the blue bar there, so you can easily identify which is which. You'll also see the little icons next to the name of the event. So you'll see the plus symbol that represents the status being new. You've got that play symbol, the red play symbol that indicates that it's in progress at the moment. And you've got the leave type represented by the little aeroplane there. Someone's going on holiday maybe, although it is personal leave, so perhaps not. So that's kind of a rundown on the calendar. So diving a little bit deeper into it, there's different stuff that we can do here. So we can move stuff around, we can change the length, we can reassign things as well. So if I want to move something forward and backward in time, I'll use this work order up here that's currently assigned to the unassigned user, so it doesn't have an assignee at the moment. I can drag it forwards if I want to in time, click and hold and drag, and that will change the event time. So you can see that's moved it from starting at 3 p.m. to starting at 4 p.m. You'll see also these lines that link the requests, which are kind of like the parent and the child of the work order as well. So you've got that nice visual representation of where the relationships lie. This is currently unassigned at the moment. So if I want to assign this to somebody, I can do that. Basically, I can click and drag down. So you can see as well as moving backwards and forwards in time, I can also actually manage the assignment by clicking and holding and dragging down. So maybe I really want Freya to work on this. So I click and drag and assign it to Freya. You can also see here that there's sections of the calendar that have these diagonal stripes through them. That's indicating those rostered times. So Freya's due to finish at 5 p.m. there. So we might actually need to move this work order forward in time, or backwards in time, sorry, or potentially forwards in time to the next day if we want Freya to work on it. So you'll see here, I just tried to move it backwards in time, and basically what this box is telling me here is that the expected start date of the work order is actually before the expected start of the request, which is kind of like an illogical sequence because the request is like the parent and it really should encapsulate all of the activity taking place, which could be one work order or it could be many work orders, which could occur in sequence or concurrently. It doesn't stop you from doing the change, but it does warn you that there is potentially a problem with the logic kind of being involved. So you can see there it does still let me move it backwards in time. To change the length of the work order, I can click and drag on the ends. So if I scroll forward here, so I find the end of that work order, you'll see as I hover over the end edge here, a little arrow pops up. I can click and hold and drag it to change the length of the work order if I want to. So that's one method to change the length. Again, shows me that error. And you'll now see that work order has shortened. Any questions so far? While I catch my breath?
Don't be shy.
All right, I'll continue on. So that really represents everything you can do kind of within the calendar. What I'll show you now is on the left-hand side. So we've got this calendar on the right-hand side, and we've got our unscheduled requests and work orders on the left-hand side. We can change what's kind of most prominent on the page by using this slider. So you can see I can hover over this little divider here, and I can click and drag it to the right to show more of the unscheduled requests. Click and drag it to the left to show more calendar. So looking at this left-hand side now, this is all about unscheduled requests and work orders. So they're requests and work orders that don't have an expected start date and time and expected finish date and time. So they're just kind of waiting to be put in place. On the left-hand side here, you'll see that some have the clock orange and some have green. That corresponds to our colors over on the calendar here. So orange represents the requests and green represents the work orders. You can obviously also tell by the little code ahead of the name of it, but the green represents the unscheduled requests and the red represents the work orders. So being RR for repair request or SR for service request, and work order, or WO for work order. Moving across the table, you can actually scroll left and right on this one. So you can see the parent request here that this work order 5 belongs to. You can see the assignee / workshop. So at the moment, you can see that those are the workshops that they're assigned to, the details of the request, who's reported it. So Ed's reported all these. Thanks, Ed, for raising all these ones, creating work for me.
No worries.
You can see when it was actually created and what that type is. So being a request or a work order, its current status. So you've got a few open ones there, a new one, and a pending one as well. And the expected start and expected completion, which don't have any values in there. So to actually schedule this on the calendar, we can actually do it from over here. We can change this number in the box here is the expected duration, so the number of minutes it's expected to take. If I'm looking at this and it says 60 minutes and I think it should be, I think 60 minutes is also the default length if it doesn't have a length. If I think it should be longer, I can make that 180 minutes to be, for example, to make that 3 hours. The other thing that I can do here, which is pretty cool, is actually click and drag this onto the calendar to actually assign it to somebody. So if I want to assign this particular work order to Mia, I can hover my mouse over these collection of dots, 6 dots, and click and drag across to the calendar. And I can decide where in time I want to put it as well. So where Mia has an open slot, I can slot it in. So Mia is actually looking pretty good today. So maybe I'll schedule that for 12 p.m. So this little warning is telling me that the request that this belongs to hasn't been scheduled, and asking basically, to save a bit of hassle, would you like the request to be scheduled as well? There's a few different options. So I can cancel the work order scheduling, so kind of revert what I was doing. I can use the work order duration, so that's 180 minutes for the request as well. Or I can use the request duration that's already there. I'm going to use this second option in the middle here, this red one. And you can see that's put both work order 5 against Mia, as well as that repair request number 3 against the Formbird depot, because that's where Mia's working. And you can see the other work orders that relate to this request as well. So we've got work order 6 down here that Freya's working on at the same time. So the request is really like representing that the asset is in the workshop for the period, the grouping of activity, I guess, and the work orders are the discrete parts of the activity that need to be done. So it could be a service request and a repair request, lots of different, a service work order and a repair work order. So lots of different options there. So the last thing that I'll show you here is that you can actually create stuff from here as well. So we can actually go in and create requests. So if someone calls me up and I decide that tomorrow I need to create a request for this small plant workshop, maybe a small bit of gear needs some maintenance, I can actually schedule this in the calendar. So maybe someone's available at 6 a.m, I can schedule it then. So by clicking on the calendar there, it brings up this select request dialog box, and I can choose what type of request I want it to be. So in this case, I'm just going to choose a repair general request and hit select. And basically what that does is it opens it up in this in the new template, if you like. It allows me to fill out the details. So I can select the asset that it's related to. We'll use this Husqvarna. We'll say what needs to be done. So reported not starting, for example. We can give it a reason for the request. So perhaps it was an operator's report. We can say whether it's urgent out of service or non-urgent fleet operational. So we'll go urgent out of service. And down here you'll see we've got our calendar again, so another representation of the calendar. But you can also see down in the assignment status, this blue box here, that we have that expected start and expected completion based on my selection on the previous calendar. But then I can obviously change these if I want to. So if I want to say, actually, I've thought about it and I really need that to start at 6:30 a.m. I think the mechanic's probably going to take a couple of hours to look at it and fix the problem. So I'll make it 2 hours. And then I can hit save, just like I would normally. And that creates the request there. And you'll see it automatically shows up in the calendar here. And it will automatically show up in the calendar over here as well. I might just need to refresh the page. And we'll just jump to Friday. And we can see that request that I just created there. So that probably takes us through everything. Any questions or comments from the guys on this call, people on this call? Particularly Anthony, this has kind of come about from your suggestion. Have you been using it since we released it back in July?
Yeah, I think we're across most of that. The only interesting bit for me was I didn't realise you could drag the unscheduled requests across, so that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much utilising the rest of it.
Oh, that's good to hear.
We've got our leave and everything blanked out, and different types of leave and different rosters and everything set up. So,
yep.
Yep.
What impact is it having on the operation now, the workshop?
I guess it's just, it's being able to blank a guy out, knowing they're unavailable, and just the scheduling and what you can book in per day is a bonus. Yeah.
So kind of knowing what resources are available and what kind of demands there are on those resources, and being able to plan it out that way and prioritize and all those sort of things.
Definitely.
Yeah. Cool.
G'day, Adam. Look, probably a question I just wanted to, I don't know, I came a little bit late. I just don't know if you answered it, but it was lovely and intuitive. I just wondered, we're migrating to a new ERP to S4HANA. In that context, is there any integration with SAP?
So from a Formbird point of view, Formbird's got a very open architecture, I guess. It's an open platform. So it's definitely possible to build integrations into Formbird and between systems. So we've got integrations with Geotab, KeyWatcher, IntelliTrack, others. So yeah, we can certainly build those integrations from our end. Often it comes down to what that provider's capability is.
Got it. Thanks, Adam.
Mark, is that a fair take?
Yeah, look, integrations are always a complex thing, particularly when you're going in ERP, because it really is making decisions around what sets of data needs to be interchanged. And that often is actually coming down to your utilisation, if you like, and the data ownership. Who actually has responsibility for what data? Do we own the scheduling of resources or, people? Or say SAP. So then the decisions actually have to be made very much around your business process as well. So, but it's all very possible. It's just a matter of really diving into, specific scenarios and use cases that make sense.
Yeah, we're just using a stopgap. We're using Fieldworker Mobility, which is the Microsoft Dynamics platform, and this is far superior. It's quite clunky.
Right. Yeah.
But it's only a stopgap. It's just in the meantime. But in saying that, it doesn't have any of those features, and certainly the drag and drop, yes, but creating a work order is pretty seamless with the Formbird.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you guys have put in a lot of work, or we've all put in a lot of work into to try and to make it as straightforward as possible, really, and flexible, so you can do it lots of different ways.
No, I like it. I really like the and also the way that you can choose from a drop-down menu what the particular work that has to be carried out, urgent, non-urgent, what type of work it is. The other thing I guess I would ask is there any can you analyze from the work orders being created if there are trends in failure, like in terms of you've got DMAXs where the transmissions are failing, can you then drill down and go, okay, how many DMAX transmission failures have we had over the last 12-month period or quarter?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a whole lot of different reporting available, as you can see as I scroll through this page here, as I get down to the juicy bit. So there's a few different options. So we've got like request analysis reporting. So this really does looking at all of your requests. So I'm just kind of doing this on the fly here. Bear with me. I might do last rolling 12 months. That should give us a bit of data to look at. So this is looking at our different request types, so the different asks that we're getting. So whether that's an internal request, a repair request, a service request, all those sort of things. And it gives you a breakdown by the month there. And then you've got further breakdown into the different types. So whether it was an accident, non-report, and this is this drop down that you saw me selecting from when I was creating that request. Whether it was like commission, decommission, found at PM, inspection, manufacturer's recall, all of those sort of things. And again, got that breakdown per month and the associated costings. We've also got the, so when you do a repair work order, there's classification about the repair cause, type and reason. So this report also allows you to break down that those repair types that you're doing. So you've got body and tray repairs, and then the repair cause summary. So what's unfair wear and tear, what's fair wear and tear, what's manufacturer's fault, and then the repair reason. So what the issue was, and then also what the action was, what actually was done at a really high level. So this categorization of the work order lets you look across your fleet and say, oh, what are the trends? What are we, are we having lots of unfair wear and tear, or we're having to replace lots of, transmissions on IC2 DMAXs or something like that, and really dial down into that data.
And then can you filter down into an individual vehicle to see, the life cycle of that asset, whether or not, when you were mentioning unfair wear and tear, so could you then drill down per vehicle and then look, oh, right, you can. Oh, that's great. Yeah,
so there's a couple of different ways to do that as well. So we do have the maintenance history summary on an asset. So this gives you all of the maintenance, whether it's, general servicing or repairs. And it gives you that breakdown of what the work was that was completed, the repair reason and the repair cause, who did the work, the actual technician's report, so what they wrote into the work order, and the materials that were used.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it gives you that breakdown. So that's kind of a nice,
really
easy table to print out. You've also got like the full repair history or history of the asset, really. The entire history is available as well. So whether it's the plant usage that's being recorded on a daily basis, any inspections that are being done on it, risk assessments, what else have we got here? Oil sampling, all of its requests. So all of the asks, I guess, that have come across for this particular asset. So whether it's pre-starts that have been turned into that have reported faults and turned into requests for the workshop, the expenses of the asset. Again, all of your different work orders, so whether they're repairs or services, all of your pre-starts, that full history really of the entire asset.
So when an issue is identified within a pre-start, is there a trigger that notifies someone that a work order needs to be created for that repair?
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe I can find one here actually. Going on the fly is a bit risky. Basically, when operators do pre-starts and they report a fault or they find a fault, the system allows them to categorize that fault, I guess, to say whether it's urgent or non-urgent. So I'll just find the section. So this is our pre-start. This is a filled out pre-start. So you can see here that you can pass, fail, not applicable, any of the checks, and enter any comments about them as well. We recently, the guys have been working on a bit more information about the actual checks, and potentially like we can put instructions in here, basically like videos, all that sort of stuff about how to actually carry out the check. But then down here, the operators designate an urgency. So whether it's urgent, the fleet's out of service, or non-urgent, fleet operational. So urgent, fleet out of service. that basically means that the asset's not functioning, and the workshop's going to need to do something to rectify it before the asset can go back into service again. The non-urgent fleet operational, what we find is that for these ones, the asset keeps getting used and potentially the fault keeps getting reported. So that can, if all of those go directly to the workshop, that can kind of clog up the workshop's dashboard with lots and lots of duplicates, for example, or stuff that isn't their responsibility necessarily. So these actually go to a separate workflow to be reviewed before they get turned into jobs for the workshop.
Very nice.
Any other questions there?
No, that's fantastic. No, thank you.
Cool. Marie, how does it look for you?
Yeah, I actually like it. I'm just processing through my head how to get my staff to use it.
The change management part's always a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because they don't allocate the jobs at the moment. They just do it. Here you go. You do this. You do that. You do this, and that's it. They don't do the repair requests either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mechanics do their own.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
good though. I like it. No, I like
the start of that process where they become aware of the problem or the report from the operator, and that kind of turns it into a request at that point in time, even if the work then happens tomorrow or next week or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of ties into the service side of things as well, in terms of being able to do things like send out notifications to drivers, and drivers being able to see, or operators being able to see, when their plant is booked into the workshop. So what we do on the operator side is we actually make the requests available to them for like informational purposes. They can't really, schedule anything, but they can see when the request is scheduled, which really represents when their asset is expected in the workshop for XYZ maintenance, whether it's a service or whether it's some repair that's needed.
Right.
So I'll just jump into the operator view of the world. So this is the operator homepage here. So you can see these are our assets, and we can take actions on these assets. Operators can create repair requests and fill out their pre-starts, their daily driver check sheets. But then down at the bottom of this, they've got their works information. So this is defaults to filter what's been kind of raised by them, the requests that have been raised by them. So we've got some repair requests here. We've got some daily drivers here. They've also got the option to switch it to my assets. So these are assets that they're responsible for or allocated to. And then this shows them all of those requests as well. So anything that's reported by them or somebody else, or generated by the system in case of a service request. And they can actually see, when the service request was created, but actually see when it's scheduled as well. So in this expected start and expected completion column, you've got when the activity is expected to take place against the asset. Food for thought.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
Hi, are you there?
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Thank you for your presentation. I like the format of the scheduling table, and it's very descriptive, and every aspect looks good. It's good visual to look across all the work orders and requests as well. I think from here for us, would have to actually, I know myself, would have to play with it and tinker with it and see how I can format it in with our guys, because we do similar stuff to what Marie does. Yeah. So it is hard to change. So I've got Jason with me here as well, and he's having a look at it to see how we could, work it in. But it's just we need to test and adjust first before we can sort of rely on the electronic format for it to be the mainstream.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, have a play with it, and if you come up with any suggestions, or if you have any questions, get in contact with us. We're happy to talk about things. And yeah, it's only been in production for a few months now. So as people pick it up and start playing with it, we always get lots of good feedback that we can incorporate.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Sean. All right, if there aren't any questions, I reckon we wrap it up there. A nice 45-minute session today.
Nice one.
Good stuff, Adam. All right.
Thanks, Adam.
Well, Marie, were you just about to say one thing?
No, I just said nice one.
Nice one, then. Okay, well, we'll take that as a compliment. Thank you, everybody who contributed. Of course, thank you, Adam. That was brilliant again. I hardly catch my breath, actually. So the recording will be up. We'll send that out next week. Thank you very much for attending, and we will see you in 2 months' time, and which I've didn't put down the next date, but you'll get an email reminding you of the date, and you can put that into your calendar. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Stuart. Thanks, Marie.